My name is Alan Welt. I've been doing general OBGYN here at the Jersey Shore since 1981. We've been doing pap smears forever in this practice. We've been pretty comfortable with pap smears forever in this practice. But recently we started doing primary HPV screening in women over the age of 30. And I'm going to tell you an astounding story. I met Micheline Fornarotto in July of '03 when she came to our practice for her first prenatal visit. Her pap smear at that time was normal. Her prenatal course was uncomplicated, and she was delivered in February of '04 of a little girl by cesarean section. Her follow-up pap smear at her 6-week checkup was also normal.
I have always gone regularly for my pap tests since the time that I was 17 years old. I think I had a good understanding of what the pap test was actually designed and supposed to achieve. But I don't think I ever realized that it was not the be-all and end-all to detecting cervical cancer.
It takes a lot to get me to do a brand new test. What we did is we attended a series of lectures that demonstrated data that frankly blew me away. What we saw was that pap smears are not nearly as accurate as I thought they were. They miss as many as 50% of cervical cancers. Suddenly there was this new test. They clearly demonstrated that HPV was present in 99.7% of cervical cancers. One of the interesting things about pap smears is the fact that it's a subjective test. The fact is, you can take a pap smear and give it to 3 or 4 different pathologists and get different results. The HPV test, however, is objective. It's either there or it's not there. The pap smear has 2 components to it. It has to test the outer part of the cervix, and it's got to test the inner part of the cervix. The cervix is made up of 2 types of cells. The outer portion of the cervix is made up of what are called squamous cells, which are layered cells that we are all familiar with on our hands. The endocervical component of the cervix is made up of a different type of epithelium or lining, very characteristic of the inside of your mouth. Sometimes that inner part of the cervix is not sampled accurately. Docs don't necessarily get all the cells from the inner portion of the cervix because you can't see it. It's microscopic. But if you do a HPV test with the pap smears, you can in fact clearly and comfortably say to a patient, if your HPV test is normal, you don't have cervical cancer.
He asked me if he could have my consent to do the test, and I figured, sure, why not? I have nothing to worry about. I've never had any signs of anything being wrong. I've never had any kind of genital warts. There was no reason for me to think that the test results were going to come back anything but normal.
We talked about it, and we did both procedures. Her pap smear was perfectly normal, but her HPV test was positive.
I didn't know what exactly that meant. I just knew that it put me at higher risk for cervical cancer. Did I ever think that I would be the patient to have cervical cancer? No, because I had normal pap smears my entire life. So I really didn't ever believe that I truly had anything to worry about. I just figured I needed to be monitored a little bit more closely.